any disclosures of interest, colleagues, for this evening's meeting? Of course, disclosures are just in regards to any perceived or real financial benefit or loss arising from tonight's agenda. Not seeing any disclosures from council colleagues, so we will move on. So we're in our presentation portion. We appreciate that so many of you are here tonight. We have about 9 presentations to get through, so I'll be timing you, and we'd really appreciate it if you could keep your presentation portion to no more than 7 minutes, so that we have 3 minutes for questions, which are all often extremely useful to council in better understanding your proposal. So I think we have the Disc Golf Club here. Is it Dwayne or someone else who's doing the presentation?
If I may jump in just to
Yes.
say that Dwayne reached out. He was looking for the Zoom link. I forwarded that to the clerk's office. So he hasn't joined yet, but hopefully they're on getting him that link and he'll join soon if you want to go ahead with the next one.
I do. So let's do Kemptville Minor Football Club. Is Jessica here? Do we have Jess?
I am.
Oh, hi, Jess and Jason. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So again, if you could try to keep that first presentation to 7 minutes so we can ask questions, that would be fantastic. Go ahead.
Sure, put us on the spot right from the start, eh?
Yeah, you might as well. You got a kid, you got some kids to put to bed after.
Fair enough. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to hear our presentation this evening. So Jason and I are the president and vice president of Kemptville Minor Football Club right here in North Grenville. If you could go to the next slide, please. Welcome to the home of the Jags. So this is an aerial shot of our beautiful field that is home on the Kemptville campus. It is an honor and a nod to our local heritage to have football back on the field that was used to host the Ottawa Rough Riders in their spring training camp. So we've had the opportunity to revitalize the field and bring it back to its original purpose. In 2023, Jason and I took over the club and we started the first flag football program here in Kemptville and continued on with our tackle football program, but went from a spring league, a spring rec league, to a fall AA competitive league. So we were able to see 130 flag football players out on the field, ranging from ages 5 to 13. We had 75 tackle football players aging from 8 to 13. And we are so lucky to have more than 50 volunteers that help us out daily, weekly, monthly, and through the craziness of it all. But at the end of the day, we have absolutely 100% love of the game. Next slide, please. So we are all about community. We really strive to involve the community and to make sure that the kids feel like they're part of the community. The Jags had an opportunity to track their minutes for the Participation Challenge, and I was so proud when the club in total tracked 104,490 minutes of participation minutes. It was amazing. Everybody got in on it, and it was great to see.
And we probably even missed some minutes.
The picture on the bottom in the middle there, that was a great day for Jason and I. We had the opportunity to go out to Oxford-on-Rideau and do a flag program out there for them. That was in the spring, and we're hoping to go back again in the spring this year. The picture to the left is our field opening. Mayor Nancy, thank you for being there for that. It was a great day. It was just great to see everyone. We had the opportunity to have a very esteemed member of our community out that day, Dr. Bertie Brennan, who is also the only remaining survivor of the 1951 Rough Riders Grey Cup Championship. So we feel so proud to have him as part of our community and a supporter of our club. Next slide, please. So we are part of a territory-based league called the National Capital Amateur Football Association. So this league encompasses all of Ottawa, Cornwall, Cumberland,
Gatineau, Buckingham.
But we have
Canada.
We have a very large territory that pulls in from different areas like Brockville, Winchester, Smiths Falls, Jasper, and these players come to play for the Jags, and we compete in a AA program. So this is great. We're pulling in lots of members to our community. We had great feedback from outside community people that just absolutely love North Grenville and the program that we're offering. Next slide, please. We did a lot of footwork this year to get sponsorship. These 4 sponsors are Rose Automotive, Pixel Eye Care Center, For Life Fitness, and Copperwood Contracting were our 4 main sponsors that helped us to purchase our jerseys. Next slide, please. Without them, these wouldn't be possible. And I have to tell you, they were the best jerseys in the league. They looked amazing out there. Lots of compliments. And we're just so lucky to have the sponsors in our community that we're able to give and to help us out.
Players wanted to join the Jags just so they could wear our jersey.
Next slide, please. So this is only a small sample of some of the sponsors that we had. Of course, we did receive a community grant for 2023 as well. In total, we ended up with almost $3,400 in cash sponsorship, over $6,800 in services, $8,000 towards our jerseys, and thanks to, next slide, please. Thanks to Savannah Welding, right in the middle. They donated the material and the time to fabricate our uprights, which saved our club close to $20,000. So these 5 sponsors all helped us get our field up and running and looking as amazing as it did. Next slide, please. So we're trying to build a culture for these kids. We're trying to get them ready for life, talking about teams, making friends, good sportsmanship. And to me, this is the best way to put it. Social development is about improving the well-being of individuals in North Grenville so they can reach their full potential. The Kemptville Minor Football Club does this by investing in the people of this community, both youth and adult, in creating a love of sport, love for our community, and a love of being active. We are different somewhat from other clubs in that our focus reaches beyond the field and into the community. We provide a sense of belonging for our families, a strong and tangible community connection, all while helping them embrace a healthy and active lifestyle. That's our goal. That's what we want to see. We want to see these young individuals work through everything and become amazing adults within our community. Next slide, please. Our flag football, like I said, was an amazing hit. First year we did it, 130 plus participants. We're looking forward to seeing even more out on the field this year, as 2028 will be the inaugural year of flag football in our Olympics. Our program is great. This year, we are really hoping to be able to field at least one all-girls team. Next slide, please. Our tackle football program, it's an emotional one.
Yeah.
It was a long season. It was a good season. And we watched these boys grow. They became a team and a community. Sorry. Next slide, please. But it's all about the future. See my little guy on the right? He's so adorable. We want to build for the future. We want to make this a lasting program. And we want to have Kemptville proud to have us in their community. Next slide, please. So our ask is a big ask. We are asking for $60,000. We have lots that needs to be accomplished, and our goal is to accomplish it all this year, fingers crossed. One of the big things, well, our bigger things come in the next slide, but in this one, we need bleachers. We need a place for our parents and our spectators and our families to sit and watch their kids play.
Because on average, on our game days for tackle, we'll have 3 to 4 games. 4 games next year. This year we had some 3 game days. And we probably have anywhere from 6 to 1,200 people coming to that field throughout the day. And bring in their lawn chairs because we don't have the bleachers, but you know, they all enjoy our canteen for that day and everything else. So it's definitely to give it that atmosphere of a full football field. The bleachers are one of our main things that we want to put out there.
With these bleachers and our ask for them, one of our things that we're looking at is the use of the bleachers outside of football and how they can be used within the community. They're one, I guess Kemptville Live uses the same area for us, and that was something we wanted to discuss with them too. Because they will be movable bleachers, we want to have it available to Kemptville Live to be able to place where they would like it to place during their music festival, in order for our community members to continue to use them. Of course, top right, we're going to need more flags. Lots of kids, flags needed. More helmets are going to be required. Our goal is to field a U16 team, which we did not do this year. We have many participants that are moving up to our U16 level, and they don't want to leave Kemptville. They don't want to leave the Jags. So we're hoping to do that for them. The bottom right picture is a cap that goes over top of the helmet. It's called a Guardian cap. This is something we're looking into to purchase for our players. These are used during practice times to help protect the helmet, but more importantly, to help protect the player from receiving concussions during practice or any bumps and bruises that could lead to a concussion going forward. Next slide.
Maybe you can wrap up so we can ask you some questions. Almost there.
Almost. I'm seriously like right at the end.
Okay, awesome.
So one of our biggest asks was the scoreboard. So a typical scoreboard is about $60,000. We've chosen to purchase an LED scoreboard, which we got for about $35,000. This scoreboard, what we want to do with this community use wise is we would like to host once a month, a community movie night where we will take care of the cost of the licensing of the movie and have our canteen open so that we can fundraise that way. But we want to open this up so that we can do a community movie night from April, May until September, October, as long as we can, really. So that's a big community use for it as well. Next slide, please. Going as quick as I can. And next slide, please. So just a quick shot of our field. One of the things that goes on our budget is our lighting for the field. The 3 lights to the right in yellow are what we currently have for the field. The 4 lights to the left or across the field and to the left are what we're looking to finish lighting our field so that we can continue our practices. We can have our evening games and be able to field a U16 team. In the end, next slide, please.
That's it. You're up. Thank you.
And that's it. I was
Thank you.
Yep, that's it.
Thank you. I know there was a lot to get through. We're so sorry. We can see your passion. But I'll open it up to, thank you. Great presentation. I'll open it up to council colleagues. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Great presentation. It's obviously you're very involved. I got choked up there a little bit when you did. Couple of questions. First of all,
We needed about another 4 minutes and we would have got you crying.
yeah, sure. No, it's a wonderful addition to our community, our sports community. I have 2 questions. First of all, in your submission, you have a sort of a catch-all item for materials of 86,500. Could you break that down and tell me what is the dollar figure for the bleachers alone? Because you highlighted that as a priority.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah, so I did submit some supporting documentation for that as well.
Okay.
I'm just trying to pull it out.
Did you
Maybe
guys
it's in the
not receive
package. I
that?
didn't. Yeah, maybe I didn't.
It
drill
would be
down
in the
deep enough.
package. Oh,
Passed it.
Yeah.
I just passed it. So for the bleachers alone, we actually went to a company out of Almont that the municipality directed us towards, and we were looking at $16,000 for the bleachers.
Right. And the total project, I didn't see the total.
So the total project in the end with lighting and everything, we're
Yeah.
actually looking at close to about 200,000.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Over 200.
Over 200,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was a little concerned that your ask
Now
was
we are
great.
also
Yeah. Go ahead.
we are also applying for other grants. we're looking into the Trillium grant, a Hydro One. Actually with us this is Tabitha. She's on our board of governors as our grant organizer. Very lucky to have her.
Yep.
So she's helping us in that aspect to go elsewhere to get funding where we can.
Okay.
Great.
Sorry.
Yeah, great. Just one
Second
more, and then
question.
I'll go to Councillor Sullivan, Deputy
Sure,
Mayor.
sure. I'll try not to belabor this point. I just want you to be aware, and this isn't passing judgment on this application or anybody else's application, but we're looking at $100,000 total this year for community grants. So just to be aware that a
Absolutely.
$60,000 ask is chances of granting that are slim. Okay.
Oh, and
That's fair. That's
But
fair.
we-
We're just
but
putting
we
the
haven't-
numbers out there.
Yeah, it's up to council to decide. I'm not deciding for them. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go to Councillor Sullivan, please.
Okay, thanks very much. Thank you for the presentation. I'll be quick too. I just wanted to clarify, you mentioned and you showed that map of the catchment area. So do you have players with the Kemptville Jags that are from, say, Spencerville and Winchester, or are the players all from Kemptville?
No, they are from surrounding areas as well. Yes, Brockville, Spencerville, Winchester, Jasper,
Okay,
Merrickville.
we actually
Okay,
have
so-
some players that drive from Cornwall
Yeah.
okay.
to play.
Yeah,
here.
I think my grandson is part of this. He's playing football for the first time in Kemptville, so. Anyway, yeah. So my question is then, have you approached those other councils for money towards this? Like
We have
Spencerville?
not as
Winchester?
of yet.
Okay, maybe
Not as of yet.
might be
Yes,
good.
absolutely.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for the presentation and all the best with this. It's a great addition to the community. Thanks.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Councillor Strakian, and then we're gonna move on.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Thank you both for your presentation tonight. It's great to see how this program has really taken off and a lot of enthusiasm. I know I have friends who have kids and are playing there and are really loving it. I just have one very simple question. What is the membership cost to play football in, I don't know if it varies between the different leagues or not, but approximately.
So depending if it's flag or tackle football is more expensive than flag only because there's more equipment involved. At both flag and tackle, the only thing that the players are to provide are cleats and a mouth guard. Everything else is provided by the club. So a rough estimate is $200 for flag. That includes your uniform and your flag and all your field time. For tackle football, you're looking at anywhere from
400 to 450.
yeah, 375 to 450, 475, depending on your age level, how much time is needed. And of course, the older you are, the bigger you are, the more expensive the equipment.
Right. I do have one other quick question, and I don't know if this has been considered yet. Sorry. Have you had any conversations with the campus, or has anybody facilitated a conversation? Because these are improvements to their grounds that they may have considered or may want to consider.
It's a circle because there's certain aspects of it that the municipality deals with, and then there's certain aspects of the campus deals with. So the lighting would be kind of a joint venture. They do have 4 light stands on premises, as to my understanding, are in the small goods, so they become the property of the Kemptville campus. So they have donated them to our club to erect and put up there for the lights.
Of course, nothing gets done without Bruce there to
Yeah,
kind of go
it's-
through everything with us. But yes, it's been lots of talks, and our scoreboard is mounted above our CCAN, and the college was more than happy to see that go up.
Yeah, so yeah, it is it's an interesting relationship and dynamic with the campus and the municipality, but you
Okay.
know,
It's
some-
working.
yeah, we ask for forgiveness when we do wrong, and you know,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And
Thank
maybe
you.
just before you wrap up, and no, it's been a fulsome discussion. So the 60K that you've identified for the municipal ask, is it primarily the bleachers? Not necessarily, right? So the 60K goes beyond that?
It's primarily the scoreboard
The scoreboard?
bleachers and equipment.
Okay.
The lighting,
And when I look at your
we're gonna
application,
end
I
up-
don't see all of that broken down. Has that been broken down somewhere that I'm,
I put in supporting documentation with it.
okay, gotcha. Okay, so I'm not sure that we've had the benefit of seeing that. Okay. And then something like the bleachers, which potentially could be utilized for other events at Kemptville campus, right? Potentially is a conversation to have with the campus. So what we
Absolutely.
appreciate about these presentations is you articulate your need and the value and what you think the return on investment is. And then we get to go away and think about what's the best way to make that happen. Deputy Mayor's right. The approximate amount we've in a very preliminary way reflected on is 100K, but quite frankly, it's up to council to decide how large an investment we make in the community. It certainly could go beyond 100, go below 100. So it's great to put your asks out there so that we can understand the potential of some of these initiatives. And even if we can't meet you all the way, obviously, we can certainly create the conditions for some other success outside of this granting process. So appreciate your time. Thank you. I have to confess, my daughter, as you know, was a flag football player. And what really struck me is the caliber of coaching that came out. You had some incredible coaches with very, very senior, seasoned football experience, and they just the quality of the programming was very high. So thank you very much for all of your effort.
Thank you
I
so
know the
much.
hundreds of hours you put into this, and we appreciate you stepping up. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care. So I understand we have Dwayne from Disc Golf. Dwayne, are you here? Oh, there you are. All right. So
Yes.
we say 7 minutes. We do our best. So do what you can, Dwayne, in 7 minutes. I have a feeling you're going to be short and sweet.
Well, I most certainly am. Thanks, Madam Mayor, and
All right.
good evening, Deputy and councilors. Okay, I'm just going to get right to the point. We're going to leave that one slide up there because it looks great. I'm going to get to the point. The Kemptville Disc Golf Club is requesting a community grant for $1,200 to support a disc golf signage upgrade for our course at the Ferguson Forest Center. The course currently consists of 18 disc golf baskets, and our current setup incorporates signage on 8.5 by 11 laminated paper / cardboard type sheets. These signs are placed at every hole to inform players of the hole number, the layout, and the par numbers, and other things. In addition to the hole signs, there are directional signs for next tee so you can navigate the course properly. And since all the current signs are simply on laminated sheets, they don't withstand the weather very well, and they have to be replaced nearly every season at a cost to the club. So therefore, we're seeking to upgrade our laminate signs and install metal or composite signs that'll last many years to come. If the community grant is approved, the Kemptville Disc Golf Club intends to purchase approximately 45 signs and install them in the spring of 2024. And all the labor to achieve the upgrade will be performed by us, the club members, volunteers. This current grant would be the third municipal injection of funds as the club works towards complete self-sufficiency and sustainability. So the desired outcome is to get those new signs up, and we can also measure that through our social media, our digital applications, and club statistics. As you know, disc golf has increased immensely in popularity, and people are coming from everywhere to play. So we just want to get those signs up to par, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you do have a wonderful slide presentation that's available to any member of the public. But thank you for focusing right where we need to be, which is on the ask. So the $1,200, and then I'll recognize council colleagues, would cover the proposed 45 signs that you're suggesting you need. Did I hear that right?
Yes, that's right, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Councillor Sullivan, please.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Dwayne. My question is regarding sponsorship. Have you reached out to people businesses in the downtown core or even on 43 to kind of, like, I'm thinking restaurants, food places, etc., to encourage people who come to play disc golf then to use the patrons in downtown, and that would help cover the costs of some of the signs. I have seen
those
one.
logos. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
on,
seen
some
one.
of
I
Dwayne's
think
signs.
Samantha Rivet Stevenson, I think I saw her sign, but I was thinking of Salamanders or O'Heife's or any of the restaurants downtown or coffee shops.
Yes.
Wait, can you speak to that?
The sponsorship, in terms of sponsorships, yeah, that's a great point, Doreen. We do have sponsors. Like you mentioned, Samantha has a sign out there. We have Creekside Green. They've sponsored a hole, the Kemptville Training Center. But in terms of restaurants, the only place food related is the I think it's called Jeff Burger. It's a fry stand right across from where you guys are on County Road. Yeah, 44. So they co-sponsored a tournament we had, so people were given coupons to go for lunch there. So yeah, but in terms of sponsorships, yeah, they do cover some of our costs for sure.
Yeah, it would be great to have people who come then maybe go downtown for lunch or for dinner or hang around a little bit longer. And
they do. They really do.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard, just anecdotally that they love the restaurants in the area and they love especially the fry stands because it's quick and we all know how good they are.
Right.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think if I'm reading your proposal correctly, you have $8,000 in membership or tournament fees, partners and sponsors. Dwayne, is that more or less the case?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't have it in front. I can get up, but that sounds right, Mayor.
Okay. Any other questions, council colleagues, for Dwayne? Not seeing any. Well, we certainly know, Dwayne, the club has grown immensely and it's a signature course and people are just thrilled to play in such a bucolic environment. It's been really neat to watch it thrive as a club where we didn't have one 3 years ago, from what I understand, or it's quite small if we did. So this has been, once again, another recreational opportunity in our community that's really taken hold. So appreciate your efforts and your time.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks, everybody, and have a good evening.
All right, you take care.
Thanks.
Okay, next up I have Barb Lascelle, Kemptville Youth Musical Theater Company. Barb, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you.
And Lucas Caldwell is also with me.
Okay.
Lucas, are you there?
Yep, everyone hear me all right?
Okay,
Yep.
That's great.
Good.
Okay, I'm going to skip that first slide and just go straight to the introduction to KYMTC. So most of you know us, not-for-profit volunteer-run youth musical theater group that's been staging musical theater shows in North Grenville for 23 years. It's for youth from grade 7 to age 19. That's for our main show, and then we also put on summer camp shows for each summer. Main show is performed over 3 weekends in the spring with audiences of over 3,000 people. And the summer camp program for youth grades 2 to 8 perform shows at the end of the 4-week program. Next slide, please. Project description, I think I'm passing that over to you, Lucas.
Yep, I'll take it. So as Barb mentioned, we perform at the Urbandale Arts Center. We recently secured a grant from North Grenville 2023 Arts and Culture Grant for the purchase of a cyclorama material, which is a sheet. We'll get into that in a second. What it is, the project we're asking for is to pay a contractor who we've identified to install a mounting and track hardware for the cyclorama on the stage at the Urbandale Arts Center. If the grant is approved, we've been speaking with the contractor and he's been in touch with folks at the theater there. So we're hoping to get that done by February 2024 is sort of what we've been told by the contractor. So this community grant application is focused on securing the funds for the mounting hardware and the track system that will enable the cyclorama to be mounted and hung and then pulled off stage as required. So if you go to the next slide there. you can see some very pretty pictures of what a cyclorama will do. So a cyclorama, it's in this case, it's a large piece of fabric, which is typically white. For our theater, it'll be 20 feet by 30 feet wide. It's hung near the back of the stage, and then various lights of certain colors are projected on it to give very deep and dynamic looks. So you can see a couple shows there is a bit egotistical. I put in a couple pictures from shows I've done myself on there using a cyclorama at other theaters. So I just wanted to show just that depth and how rich the colors can get. And so the idea being that this cyclorama will be a sheet, as you can see there in the corner, that would be hung on a track system, which would then be pulled off stage and stored in a very secure area. Because as a nature of reflecting light so well, it is very prone to dirt and oil. So if a hand touches it, or if dirt kind of flies up, or anything that can kind of happen in the general course of use of the cyclorama, just imagine, sheets or curtains in your house, they get pretty dirty. This will reflect it very much. So we have to have a little storage area as well, and that's built into our costs there. If we do obtain this, KYMTC is going to work very closely with North Grenville to obtain the required assessments and reports. So the engineering reports that are required by the facility staff or other engineering staff to allow the installation of the cyclorama to be done according to all the safety regulations. And I think that's all I have for this slide. So I'll toss it over to Barb next to talk about our community impact from receiving this.
Okay, so the cyclorama will remain at the theater and will for anybody who uses the theater to use. And we'll have to draw up some specifications on how to use it and how to keep it safe. But it will positively contribute to their expertise and to their experience and to that of their audiences. The lighting system at the Urbandale Arts Center is more than 20 years old and lacks functionality compared to lighting systems in theaters with updated technology. The cyclorama is a cost-effective lighting tool that adds flexibility and complexity to lighting design options and to organizations and performers using the theater, including like I said, all community theater groups, dance companies, and professional performers, etc. And go to the next slide, please. For the economic impact, we're all very proud. KYMTC has earned a reputation for staging high-quality musical theater productions. The addition of the cyclorama on the stage at the Urbandale Arts Center will improve the quality of the lighting design for KYMTC main shows and summer camp productions, but also for everybody else that uses the theater. Cyclorama will also provide a higher quality staging environment for guest acts, as well as other performers. The main show draws audiences from across rural Eastern Ontario and in the National Capital Region, with attendance at main shows averaging more than 3,000. Many ticket holders drive to Kemptville from outside North Grenville and spend money supporting local businesses, including restaurants, cafes, and gas stations. Next slide, please. For sustainability, KYMTC recognizes the importance of sustainability in ensuring the long-term impact of the addition of the cyclorama to the Urbandale Arts Center. And that's why we're asking for the money, to ensure the continued success and effectiveness of this installation in the long term. We will implement a comprehensive sustainability plan, including the care and maintenance. KYMTC will work with North Grenville to develop a long-term care and maintenance plan for the cyclorama and long-term partnerships. KYMTC will continue to work with North Grenville and other community arts and theater organizations to continue to share resources and mutually support each other. Next slide, please. Go for it.
Yeah, I'll hop in here just for a second. So from my perspective, I work on the lighting and tech side of theater, most recently for KYMTC. Been lucky to be the lighting designer there for a little bit. And the addition of the cyclorama, it can't really be overstated how much this changes the design. The stage itself is not too responsive in terms of lights that are thrown at it. The black paint on the back wall and the bottom floor is a bit counterproductive to strong dynamic looks. lighting looks that you might see at other professional theaters. And in this case, this is a very easy solution that we can have to just, catch that color on the back wall and have bring a much nicer look to this theater and kind of bring it up to be where it really should be for what we're getting from the draws from it for all the other theater companies that are able to use this. As I said, although the cyclorama is common in professional theaters that I've worked at and high schools where there's a dedicated stage, this cyclorama will be a new lighting innovation for North Grenville. There are no local community theaters in the area or high schools that have one of these cycloramas. So in addition to drawing people down for our shows, for Kemptville Players, any of the other arts pieces or any guest performances who go there, they'll see this, and this will really bring that image of our community up another notch for them to say, okay, this is a professionally done thing, which we always try and do anyway, but just however more we can add to that and really enhance that look to people who might be coming from outside our community, draws them in, makes them want to come back and share it with their family and friends and other members outside the community. It's also important to note that when North Grenville does upgrade the aging lighting system, and for any of you who've been on email chains with us, we've been pushing for that for a little while. Once that is done, the cyclorama won't just be an old piece of equipment. It'll be used in conjunction with this new lighting system, new lights that we get to really bring everything up to another level, as I mentioned. So go to the other slide there. I'll just quickly discuss the budget. So we're asking for $7,500 here. The installation that we've been able to get an estimate for, we're still iffy on the exact number, just because it takes a while to get these things done, sadly, is around $10,000. So we'll be providing $2,500 from our own operating funds. And of course, as I mentioned, that $10,000 estimate we received from Christie Lights will be done for the mounting of the cyclorama, the track hardware, and the installation, which includes a secure little area off stage for us to store the cyclorama and make sure it's kept in good condition. And I believe that's all I had to say for that. So yeah. I think we're good, Barb, if you're good with that.
We have some questions. So just cognizant of time. Why don't we just go there and we'll see where we get. I know there's 6 other presenters waiting in the wings. So Councillor Wilson, please.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Some of my questions were answered later in the presentation. It was based on the user groups could possibly use something like this. And why wouldn't this is something that we could possibly bring to Parks and Rec and do theater upgrades ourselves? Not that I want to spend taxpayers' money, but then it would be similar to doing a theater upgrade. So, and the theater is not 20 years old yet. It was built in 2005.
Right.
Yes.
The lighting board equipment that we're talking about, the lighting system, that's from the ETC 2448 is the current board that's running. It was created in 1994, and the operating system that's run off it is also from 1994. The code and stuff is in that area. Other lighting systems, like I have a personal 4896, which is the upgrade of that one, which was made in 1995, that I'm bringing in for our show. But the current board that's in there, the sound, that's not what we're talking about today, but the lighting board in there, it is from 1994.
Oh, thank you for that, Lucas.
Okay, so obviously used equipment that was brought into the new theater, I'm presuming. Okay.
I am not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions, council colleagues? In regards to this, I think your presentation was exceedingly clear. Value is quite evident, and we always appreciate the caliber of the shows and the incredible leadership and artistic development that's provided to youth in our community. It's you can't take it for granted. You offer something incredibly unique. So thank you for your time and putting this together. We really appreciate your thought and consideration to these upgrades, and we'll be in touch.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, take care. Okay, Herb, you're up next. Music Instrument Lending Library. Over to you.
Yes,
7 minutes.
Thank
I'm
you.
sure you can do
Thank
it.
you, Mayor Peckford, Deputy Mayor and Council. Thank you very much. I'm also presenting with Kelvin Lee from the North Grenville Public Library. We have a strong committee. I know that most of you know me, but Herb Kluche from Jam Productions, and I'm the first chair of the Music Lending Library that I'm proud to be a part of, with a great committee and a great positive support group. So I'll just go through it real quickly. I think I'll start with I am the documents that we sent along, I think, outline exactly what our plan is and what our objectives are. But I just wanted to give, for people listening to this, even online later, what a mill is, a music instrument lending library. It's similar to a library where you go and check out a book. Instead of a book, it would be an instrument, a flute, a guitar, some drums, what have you. Um, the essence of an instrument lending library isn't something that we have developed. We're not reinventing the wheel here. It's been done in many communities across Ontario, and the benefit is a collaboration of sharing minds, people helping people through all age groups. It's open to everybody. And our key objectives for our music lending library is to have it a cost-free user experience. We'd like it to be open and accessible to everyone in the North Grenville municipality. We would also like to, put forward that we have a plan to make a sustainability, that we're hoping will be a one-time ask from the municipality and not something that we'll be coming back to every year. I know the deputy mayor is big on those things, so I wanted to put that in there. Um, I also wanted to say that this has been ongoing for several years, and it's been, through the sale of Guelph University to new councils to COVID to all kinds of different boards that have taken place. So it's, for one reason or another, it's always been put on the back burner. This program will, I think, benefit our community in so many ways with regards to the supporting the arts community, having free instruments that can be lent out to young people to cultivate their learning experience with the arts and the music. I think it helps local businesses when someone falls in love with a musical instrument, they will generally go to the local music store and buy one for themselves. I think we've seen in other regions in Ontario the need for it. And I think, Calvin, if you want to speak to the need that we already did with the ukulele program, this might be a good time.
Yeah, sure. I was going to say, we already know there's a demand in the community for borrowing instruments because we do it at the NGPL right now. And in fact, all of our ukuleles are out at the moment. So there is a demand and we know how to do it, and it's technically possible.
Thanks. Yeah. So we have established a great committee. We've got a plan for volunteers to support this. We have the Kemptville campus, and Liz Southern's been a great champion and supporter of this, and part of the steering committee. We would like to, in our plans, the next step is to become not-for-profit or even a charitable organization so that we can leverage funds from other levels of government, and then not always come back and move this to the NG landscape. I think that with the people we have in place now, it will be successful and it will be well run, and it will be a real nice piece to our community, for youth, for seniors, for everyone that would like a chance to play an instrument and not have to go and outlay the money for it and then find out that instrument is not for them. It supports so many initiatives within the community in North Grenville's mental health with their collaborations and community development and cohesion. It does it touches all these points. It touches everyone equally. It's not for one segment or another. And I think that with our plan and with the people we have, I think the sustainability part is a really we're very high that we can make this sustainable and not come back to the municipality every year. We have a plan for sponsorships, we have businesses involved, we have donation drives, and we have plans for fundraising. And the nice thing about a music lending library, if you want to go to the next slide, is that it works in collaboration with other music instrument lending libraries throughout our region. So we're all helping each other. So if in, you know, one situation we need a stand-up bass and Kingston Lending Library has one, they'll ship it to us. And if we have a, you know, a saxophone that they need, we would ship it to them. That's a very, very fluid partnership. So we leverage all of the every kind of dime we can get out of this, we leverage it. And this has been done for many years before we were involved with this. And they've got really good success patterns on this. And I think it's something that our community is ready for. I think it's something I've been working with for many years. And I think this is the time for it. So
Right.
next slide, please. I just wanted to go through this real quick. It's for all ages. You know, we can scale instruments to the age group of the individual. Next slide, please. We want to have a senior and a center where we can also include you know, every age group within our community. Next slide, please. You know, it's therapy for the soul. It's something that if you learn a musical instrument, it stays with you for your whole life. It becomes a passion, and it's something that you can do and you know, have it be part of you your whole life. It builds relationship and friendships and makes you feel part of something. So it really is music therapy. Next slide, please. The proposed location will be at the Kemptville campus. We're targeting the WB George Center right now. And I think that's it. Next slide. And next slide. That's it. So I'll take questions. I want to get through quick and give other people a chance, because you have a tough job. This is not easy, and I would not want to be in your shoes. But I think that, you know, our ask is going to be, as you can see there, I think it's $11,000. Our ask is going to be hopefully we're very high on the fact that this will be a one-time ask, and we're very high on the fact that we have good people from the North Grenville Public Library and people supporting us through the Kemptville campus and local businesses, and to make this viable and sustainable without a lot of coming back to council every year. So
Awesome.
I'll take your questions. Thank
Yes,
you.
let's
Thank
do
you,
that.
Mayor Peckers.
Councillor O'Sullivan and then Councillor Starkian. Go ahead.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Herb, for your presentation. I think it's a great idea. I'm just curious, how long could someone borrow an instrument for? I think I was part of something like this when my kids were going to school and had to get an instrument, and I borrowed it. And I think I had to go to a place in Ramseyville, if I remember correctly. And I could borrow it for the whole term of school. Is that similar? Is that what you're thinking?
Okay, great question, and I'm glad you brought that up. A music lending library isn't a rental source. What you're talking about is when somebody needs an instrument for their school band or whatever, they can go and rent them. We don't want to have any cost. So we're going the lending library route, just like you would a book. We want to lend it. We want to lend it for 1 day, see if they like it, to 30 days, see if they want to really see if they have an aptitude for it, and then bring it back and hopefully try to see if they like it, have them leverage the local business and go and buy one. You know, we want to work with the local business here, and we think that well, not we, I mean, this has been proven time and time again. This is just what happens. So if we lend it, we would lend it for as long as we possibly could, Councillor O'Sullivan. If we could, and nobody was looking for that one, you know, flute or something, they could keep it for till we needed it for some other student or some other person that wanted it. So the time frame could be as short as 1 day if they don't like it, to, you know, 30, 60 days if no one's asking for it. We're not in, but we don't want to charge for it, and we don't want to make it an assumption that they can keep it for an entire school year either. So somewhere in between.
Yeah, you're right. I probably did rent it.
Yeah.
It's a while ago.
This is a free service. This is a
Thanks.
Yeah, this is a free service, much like your public library.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Herb. I think it's a fantastic idea. I've seen similar efforts in different locations where they actually have it in the public library where there's a renting there. Now, I understand we've got logistical concerns, I guess, within our library. We don't have the space for it. So I guess my question is, though, the campus doesn't have the same kind of hours as the library and is, further removed from where the library is centrally located. So I'm just wondering regarding the ease of access and how people would go about getting an instrument. Would they have to make an appointment or so on? Because there isn't staff there necessarily to be available at any time, even similar to the library's hours.
Yeah, it's a good question, and we think we found an initial solution to that. We would like to have operating hours that are manageable in the onset of this program. That would be from, let's say, 10 to noon, and then from 2 to 5, and that's leaves us the operating hours of the campus. So we want to stay within those to start with, and then we want to scale it up as we need it. We will man those areas with volunteers. We have great support from people like Verity Murray, who's a teacher and a music instructor. We have, as you know, we have a wealth of musical teachers and instructors within our region, and we're going to try to rely on them to be volunteers there under the oversight of the campus.
Okay, so it would be volunteer based with some limited hours to start, and then be able to go from there. Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Herb, just very quickly, is the $11,000 requested of the municipality for instruments or for the rental on campus? It wasn't quite evident. I apologize.
No, it's a fair question. It is not for instruments specifically. It is for general startup seed money to start this project. And it includes the overhead for the venue space. It includes the retrofitting of being able to display the instruments properly. It includes sectioning off an area for repairs, for changing strings and cleaning instruments and sanitizing such. It includes new lock system. It includes a communication tool that maybe Kelvin would be able to speak to better than I, but we want to be able to catalog the instruments in and out. So there's some there, and there is some startup costs where we need to buy certain reeds for saxophones and guitar strings and so on and so forth. So
and
it's
just
a
quickly,
combination of everything.
Okay, that sounds great. And might I ask where are the instruments coming from? Like, do you have a stock of instruments, and how do you sanitize instruments, right? So obviously it's lent out. What does that process look like? Just very quickly, and then we have to move on, but thanks.
Okay. All right. So other instrument lending libraries throughout our region have partnered with us and said that they would drop off a shipload or a truckload of instruments tomorrow if we needed them. So our instruments will be generally supplied by other mills. Now, will they be the best? Will they be the best instruments that they have? Probably not. So we will have to cultivate through our own determination the donation drives and sponsorship and funding to do that. To sanitize, it's just a matter of some elbow grease, taking instruments apart, replacing mouthpieces, replacing reeds, anything that a musician would touch. Just can be wiped down and sanitized with regular sanitizing solution, but anything that you have to get into the instrument with, there are tools that you can go down the instrument, clean it out, and sanitize it, and then put a new mouthpiece or a new reed in if it goes in, if it's used for a brass instrument, for example.
Okay, amazing. Well, this is great. Thank you so much. Another impressive proposal from our very dynamic and generous community, and lots of talent and heart went into this. So appreciate all of what you've provided. I see the letters of support. So, I think council is feeling like, oh my God, there's just such wonderful and well-conceived proposals coming our way. So you're giving us lots to think about. So thanks for your time this evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, take care. Thank you, Kelvin, for joining as well.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, we're on to the next one. So council colleagues will keep on going for a bit if that works. You okay for another one, and maybe we'll take a quick short health break. But I think we have the North Granville Arts Guild. So same 7 minutes if you can. We're so sorry that it's a compressed timeline for everyone, but you're all doing a great job of relaying the essence of your proposal. So thank you.
All right, so that would be me. I'm just trying, there we go.
Hi, Tabitha, there you go.
Good evening, Mayor Peckford, Deputy Mayor and Council. Thank you. I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm suffering from a concussion. So if I pause briefly, it's because I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I do apologize in advance. So our community grant proposal, the North Granville Arts Guild, I'll just get you to go to the next slide, please. NGAG has been around for a few years now. We are certainly creating a reputation, I think, in the community for being a very community focused, and that is our mandate. We are unlike other arts guilds that surround us in that we are not a sales driven guild. We are very much a community focused guild. The idea more towards a traditional definition of a guild, if you will, in that we want to bring artists together and we want to bring art to the community. And that doesn't, so that is a little bit different because we're not focusing on how do we make money or making a living off of art. We are here to support and encourage each other, and we want to create a community that is engaged with art. And so we have a bunch of things that we do to encourage that. Next slide, please. So just, I'm not going to go through all of these, but we have done a huge variety of things in the community over the last few years. You'll see there our Kemptville Farmers Market mural. There's a picture of that. There's a picture of our caricature artist at our booth that was at Kemptville Pride. Right now we have running what's called the Abandon Art Project. We have artists who have placed small works of art around the community, like an art scavenger hunt. They are free for the taking for anybody who wants them. And this is actually a global initiative that is a really neat way to bring art to everyone, right? It makes art accessible. And it just brings joy to people. So basically, we're kind of littering our art. That being said, we do intend to, all of our artists are checking on their art to make sure it's getting picked up. But that one's happening right now. We have the ongoing venues program. We also have Foie d'Art coming this winter. So a lot of things happening. Our particular ask, next slide, please. Our particular ask for the community grant request is for our two large shows that happen. One is, in fact, our 2023 show is happening this weekend. And it is our Wonderful Art Show. We do that in conjunction with My Local Market. So we run it's called Christmas on Campus event. And the other one is a partnership with the BIA for Buskerfest. We do an art show. Last year it was in Rotary Park. This year will really depend on which direction Buskerfest decides to take as to where the location is going to be. Next slide, please. So these are just sort of little shots of these two events. They have been extremely well attended historically. Last year, Buskerfest got hit a little hard. The weather was not cooperating with us again. It was a rough day, but we still had 600 people show up, which was great. I was the person in Rotary Park doing the count, and I was just amazed as to how many people came out in that weather. We partner with Buskerfest. It's a partnership in kind. So you'll see the mural that we painted for them for photo ops. Our partnership in kind for that is that we are maintaining that mural and storing it for them, and we'll make adjustments to it as needed. And then the other one you see on the left is our Wonderful Art Show and Sale. Again, that particular event, it's a 2-day event, runs the weekend, and we roughly bring in about 600 to 1,000 people per day for that event. We're very, very hopeful this year. It'll be even better. We have wagon rides transferring people, a horse and wagon ride transferring people from the craft show to the art show and back again. Next slide, please. So just some photos of some of the ways we've engaged with the community over the years. You'll see we have our venues program in various restaurants. We've done snow sculpting. We really do move beyond just a simple focus on visual art. It's much bigger than that. It's a much broader impact. There we go. See, words. Next slide, please. And so that's it. Our ask is we're asking for $3,000. We have sponsorship. We always try and solicit sponsorship from other sources. We have a little bit of sponsorship this year to the tune of $400. Each show runs us approximately $3,500. And so that $3,000 really does go a long way towards the marketing, advertising, having things like the horse and wagon. And we do share expenses as much as we can with our partners as well. But the community grant ask really does help us make the show bigger and better, and it brings more people to the community, which is always our goal, right? Is to bring art to the community and to bring people to the community.
Thank you, Tabitha. You did a great job. Thank you. So questions, colleagues, on this one? So looking, Tabitha, at the $3,000 you're requesting, I can see that horse wagon rental, hospitality stations, marketing promotions, as you said, and facility rental. Your facility rental is for both
WB
events
George.
Oh, WB George, for that event in particular.
Yeah, and the facility rental WB George. Last year we had intended to rent the fire hall up at Riverside Park, but then things got that wasn't a possibility, and so we ended up having to move to Rotary Park. This year for Busker Fest, it really does depend. There is a Busker Fest right now is trying to decide whether they're going to move to Riverside Park or whether they're going to stay on Main Street. So that's still
Okay,
and then there's also insurance costs in there as well.
Understood. Okay, great. Council colleagues, any other questions for Tabitha at the present time? Tabitha, just quickly before we wrap up, how many members do you have? You may have mentioned that, but I may have missed
we're
it.
sitting at just under 60. I just
60
double checked
members.
before our presentation. We're at 58.
And do members pay to be part of the Art Guild?
They do, yes.
Okay.
They pay to be part of the Art Guild, and they also pay to be part of the shows.
Okay.
So we do, that's part of how we help to pay for it. But we also want to try and keep our show fees reasonable so that all members of any member of our guild that wants to participate can do so.
Right. Understood. Okay.
Yeah, like we haven't raised our guild membership. It's $30 annually is what our membership fee is. And again, we're trying to make that accessible.
Understood. Okay, great. Well, there's some incredibly beautiful art that gets featured at both of these shows. It's obviously North Grenville is a very talented community, as we know. So it's nice to see the Arts Guild creating these opportunities for residents to really come out and appreciate it and purchase it and support local artists. And I think we're looking forward to the Winter Festival on campus, the Winter Market on campus.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
This
Wonderful and Christmas on campus is this weekend.
Christmas on campus. Thank you. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you for your time.
Well,
thank you so
for
much.
Your time.
Yeah.
You guys have a great evening. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Well done.
Thanks.
Take care. Council colleagues, we're about halfway through. Do you want to I know we've been meeting since 6:30. Do you want to take just 3 minutes for a bit of a break? And then we'll come back. Okay. 3 minutes. I'll keep us to 3. All right, I'm just waiting for council colleagues to come on back. And then we will welcome Cheryl Pretty with the Navy League of Canada. Cheryl, are you here? Or do we have Chris
Sorry.
Churchill with us?
Yeah, you have me.
Hi. Welcome.
Sorry, Cheryl. Cheryl ran into some IT issues this afternoon.
No worries. It's totally fine. But we're gonna just hang on one sec, because we're just gonna make sure that we have all council colleagues. I was just queuing you up. Thank you, Chris, for being here. We appreciate it. I'll just
thank you.
Scanning the screen. Doreen Kristen, Deputy Mayor, and Councillor Wilson should be with us. If someone can quickly text Deb. We'll start in 30 seconds regardless. We'll just let her know we're starting. And then off we go. Okay. Great. So, Mr. Churchill, over to you.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the cadet program has been around in Kemptville for approximately 15 years now. We're actually celebrating our 25th anniversary, much like North Grenville. So it's nice to know we were created about the same time. This is a free program. There's zero cost for this program to any of the participants. We support the youth of North Grenville and the surrounding areas, anywhere from the ages of 12 right up until their 19th birthday. The cadet program is really funded on cadets leading cadets. So we're based on a couple of core competencies: leadership, community stewardship, volunteers and citizenship, teaching them life skills, as well as a little bit of caster mill and some physical fitness. We've been engaged in the community ever since we came to North Grenville. We've assisted the Legion, Remembrance Day parades, Cenotaph rededications, Christmas parades, fill a bag. So we've assisted with the drop off of the bags, pickup of the bags, as well as we donate a training night directly following that to help assist in the sorting of that food to help that community out. The program itself offers a lot of different opportunities for some of our youth today. They get a chance to go away to different camps to learn those skills, to interact with not only the youth of North Grenville, but when they go away and when we are in regional events, cadets from all over Canada and from Eastern Ontario. It's very much a community-based program. We've had the pleasure of the last 3 years running a community activity program in the summer here, which saw cadets coming from Smith Falls over to Kemptville, Prescott, Brockville, and running a program out of both the Armory and last summer at the curling rink to provide them some training opportunities as well. We've seen a huge increase in our membership since COVID, which is absolutely fantastic. But we've also seen a huge need from our youth in our community to have a program where they can come and engage in that positive social interaction while learning. And so that we always say we're in the program to develop our future leaders. I know we've had a number of those go through. They've gone on to very successful careers, both in the community and abroad. The ask for us is a request for $2,000. It is for marketing, supplies, color photocopies, promotional handouts, advertising on radio, print, and social media, as well as creating recruiting information and materials to hand out as well. I know we were tight on time. I don't want to keep on talking just to fill it.
Okay.
So I'll open it up to any questions that you might have.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
We appreciate this. Thank you. Council colleagues, any questions? I think we were all attended a ceremony of the Navy cadets this past summer, which was kind of impressive, and got to witness some of your talented youth leaders. I've been an enthusiastic champion of the Navy cadets in my own household. So I'm hoping to get
We appreciate
a
that.
child there very, very soon. But I'll recognize Councillor Wilson.
Thank you for your presentation, and the cadets is a very beneficial group to the community. Do you seek any sponsorship monies? Do you receive any sponsorship
Absolutely.
monies throughout the year?
Yep.
Okay. Thank
we
you.
do. So we're funded, we get sponsorships from the Legion, not only the Kemptville Legion, but as well as we've received bursaries and donations from other legions in the area in our catchment basin. We also work closely with community partners. So whenever we need to engage or get supplies, whether it's materials or food stuff to feed our cadets, engaging with them as well. And that's been a very successful way at minimizing the cost for that. Because we're entirely funded either through Tag Day or through those donations, every dollar counts. So we've always been very conscientious of trying to reduce those costs wherever we can.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Sullivan and then Councillor Strachan, please.
Thank you, and Chris, thank you for your presentation. And I always enjoy any time that I am there to see the cadets in action, and certainly see them on Remembrance Day. Do you pay for the use of the armory, or is that provided to you from the municipality?
No, we do pay. There's a monthly fee that goes to it. The majority of the money that we raise goes to pay that fee. I think it's right now around $780 a month. And then that would last for the 10 months that we're in the armory.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Strachan.
Thank you, through you, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much, Chris. I think it's a fantastic program here. Like the mayor, I'm an enthusiastic supporter in my household too. The timing has not worked out this year, but it's definitely.
Let's keep at it, Councillor Strachan.
Exactly. We'll have to give up. We'll have to work together on this. Yes. So I think there's lots to be to gain from it. My brother went through cadets growing up and saw huge advantages to being part of that program and the different camps and so on. So I think it's great. I guess tangential to this request, where there's opportunities perhaps for some, I would call it free advertising. Places like the Kemptville Farmers Market often have community booths as well for different organizations that it may be something you want to consider, because I think there's a lot of people in the community that don't really know that we have cadets in our community, and they may be a little bit dissociated from that, or folks that are new to the community. So I would just perhaps encourage you to seek out those opportunities as well, in addition to your request tonight.
Yep, no, that's absolutely great. We have supported them in the past with their Veterans and First Responders Day, and that's it, right? I mean, the part of the program is really getting that next generation to see the value in that volunteerism, and there's absolutely no shortage of volunteer hours for the cadets. If they're in and they're engaged in everything, they can get their 40 hours easily within a year. So we always try and steward that as much as possible and work with our community partners, because I think that's really where we get our best benefit from.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think you've covered all the bases. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know how much time and energy is invested into these youth leaders through the cadets program, and collectively as a council, I think it's abundantly clear that this kind of opportunity for young people, especially coming out of the pandemic where there was so much isolation and disconnection from the community, is absolutely crucial for mental health and for kind of a sense of a responsibility to your community to show up and be of service in a really structured and constructive environment. So we're big fans. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time tonight.
Thank you, Your Worship.
All right. Take care.
Okay, fine.
Victoria's Quilts, did we not hear from? Oh, that was different. That was the quilt project, right? The quilt history project, documentation project. All right. So I think Francis, you're with us for this presentation, and you just have to unmute.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now? It's Colette Stanishi. I'm the president of Victoria.
Oh, Colette, I apologize.
No problem. That's okay. And Fran is here. She's our treasurer.
Okay.
I want to thank Mayor Peckford, and Deputy Mayor and councillors for hearing our presentation. So as I said, my name is, and as the slideshow, you can just keep looping through the slides. They're not bullet points necessarily. I am the president of the Kemptville branch of Victoria's Quilts, and Fran Le Pen is our treasurer. We are a charitable organization that provides quilts to anyone dealing with cancer, whether someone newly diagnosed or someone going through treatments. We've been in existence in North Grenville for 21 years and have over 65 local members in our group. Our group formed in 1999, and since that time we have delivered over 2,000 quilts to our area. There's never any cost to anyone receiving any of our quilts. We get our funds through fundraising or donation, and every request is confidential. Anyone may request a quilt for anyone with cancer. Our quilts provide warmth and comfort to those with cancer and helps them to know that someone cares about them as they deal with this scary disease. Many of those receiving our quilts will take it to appointments with them, especially those receiving chemotherapy. It provides warmth while they receive their treatments. The quilts are well made with a cotton top on the layer top, an inner layer of warm matting, and a cozy bottom layer of flannelette, which provides the warmth and comfort, and they are made to undergo numerous washings. Our group gets together once a month to work on our quilts. Many of our members sew the quilt tops at home and bring them into the bees to be pinned into layers so that they can be quilted and bound. In 2022, we delivered 65 quilts in our area. In 2023, so far, we have delivered 64 quilts in the community. We still have 2 more months to receive requests for this calendar year, so we expect that number will go up. Each quilt costs approximately $125 for materials only. All labor is volunteered. Plus, there is an increase in requests every year. We are very careful with our funds and shop around in our geographic area for the best prices on quality supplies. So far to date in 2023, on fabric, we have spent $762. On batting, we have spent $3,688. And on flannelette, $3,195, which brings us to a total of just over $7,646. We are asking for less than half of that cost for this 1 year. We are asking for $3,000. During the pandemic, our donations went down, but we never stopped delivering our quilts as we honored all of our requests. Our members managed to keep up with producing quilts at home as best they could. We are now meeting in person again at our regular monthly bees. We spend on an annual basis between $7,000 to $10,000. Normally, our donations and fundraising carry us through from year to year, but right now we have less than half that amount in our bank account. As North Grenville's population grows, we receive more requests from people who know someone dealing with cancer. Over 40% of our quilt requests are for men, close to 60% are for women, and we also deliver to children. Cancer affects everyone. We're doing what we can to make their journey a more comfortable one. Please help us continue this valuable work to bring comfort to the many men, women, and children we deliver to. We just need a one-time boost to help us through a difficult year so we can meet the demand of quilt requests that we receive. We ask you for your help in doing this, and thank you for your time. And I'm open to any questions, and Fran or I can answer for you.
Great, thank you so much. They're so beautiful, these quilts. Wow, very impressive. Councillor Wilson?
Thank you, Colette and Fran, for your presentations. I have a lot of friends that are part of the Victoria Quilts organization, and I know the hours that you ladies all put into these quilts, and I do know people that have received them. I have just myself received a quilt to bring to a friend that's going through cancer treatment right now. And our group donated money to the Ottawa, or to Victoria Quilts to help with that. Just the fabric alone and some of the beautiful quilts that you make, it's just fantastic. So I think it's a great organization, and I commend you for keeping it going for all the years that you have. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Councillor Sullivan, please.
Thank you very much, and thank you. I think it's a wonderful initiative that that's been around for such a long time, and fabulous. And my interest in quilts certainly was renewed last year, and I no longer have my quilts stored in plastic. I have them on the beds. My question is, I think, are you a registered charitable organization? So can
Nationally, Victoria's Quilts Canada is registered as a charity, and any donations that are given to us $20 or over, they will issue a tax receipt for that.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And can it be targeted to Kemptville's, Victoria?
Yes. If any donation sent to Ottawa, if you say on it for the Kemptville branch, it will come to us.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for that, and all the best to carry on with this great project. Thanks.
Thank you. We also now take e-transfers, since we had people who wanted to do that. So Fran set that up for us.
Great, thank you.
Colette, might I ask, how long does it take to make one quilt?
Well, for me, it takes about a year, but we have much more experienced quilters in our group. I'm stronger on the administrative side. Some of our quilters make 4 quilts a month. Some of our quilters make 4 quilts a year. We don't put any time frame on them, as to we get new people who are not experienced, and you know, they're learning every step of the way, and then when they get comfortable, you know, they'll produce more. We don't like to put a timeline on anything, but what we do is we pre-prepare. We have cutters who prepare kits with all the fabric instructions and the flannelette, and they work with that kit. And when a new member joins, I appoint them a buddy, and the buddy helps them through. So if they have any questions, if they're running into any problems, etc. And then when they finish the quilt top, it has to be sandwiched so that you have the 3 layers together. So they bring the top to the bees, and they tape down the bottom layer, and then they add the middle layer, and then they tape down the top layer, and then they pin about 200 pins in each quilt to hold all 3 layers together. And then they stitch them on their sewing machines. We make them very strong with machine stitching, and the machine, and of course the binding has to be strong, because anyone with cancer, especially if they're in chemotherapy, and I went through this myself, the chemicals come out on your skin and will go on to your clothing, your fabric, your bedding, etc. So the quilts get washed a lot. Plus, if you're in cancer treatments, quite often you're sick. And so they're made strong to withstand numerous washings.
Okay. And then what would be and this is my last question, what's the estimated value of a quilt?
Well, right now, just our material costs, and as I say, we shop around and get the best prices we can. Just a quilt will run about $125 just for our costs. If you went out to buy a quilt, you're looking anywhere between $600 and $1,000 easily.
And your costs are the materials to make the quilt, not the labor, right? Not just or the extras.
Nobody. We're all volunteers. Nobody charges for labor for anything. It's all volunteers.
Amazing. That's really remarkable. How many quilts would you have made in the last year?
Well, actually, during the pandemic, I sewed about 5 quilt tops in about 5 months, which was really good for me. Okay. And then I have a friend who will quilt them for me. But Fran, how many have you made in the past year?
Could you guesstimate how many
I'm another slow person. I made about 5 last year.
Are you asking as a group?
Yes.
As a group, we're up to 167, I believe.
Okay.
Wow. So, and we do have about 65 members.
Okay.
So, and some of them are so quick. They're amazing how many they can produce. And then new members who, you know, are working on their first quilt, and it might take them 6 months. So we never put a time frame on it.
Understood. That's amazing. Have I missed any questions, colleagues, council colleagues?
I just have one last one. Do you use a long arm to quilt them, or are they all?
Actually, no, we don't have a long arm. We just had a new member join in June, a man, actually, our first male member, who does long arm, and he has volunteered to do some for us on his long arm. So we haven't had any back yet from the ones he's done. So we're waiting to see the first one back from what he's done. But the other one of the aspects of, not from a financial perspective, but the social aspect of the people meeting together.
Right.
Is enormous. Like during the pandemic, they really, really missed our in-person bees. We tried to do as much as we could on Zoom, but once they start to meet again in person, it just made all the difference in the world. Because a lot of our members are older members, and it's a wonderful experience for them.
Amazing. I'm gonna add last question, Deputy Mayor, and then we gotta move on.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor, to Fran and Colette. Thank you so much for that presentation. It was wonderful to see all those quilts on that slide deck. And I've got to say that this is the second presentation that got me a little teary-eyed. Two nights ago, we had a presentation by the Quilt Documentation, and I understand these are brand new quilts, so they don't have much of a story behind them. But I wondered if you were in contact with them and if there's any interaction.
Well, actually, that's Teresa Harrison and is it Nancy Grundy?
Yes.
Nancy? Yes. Actually, yes. I've been talking to them. Actually, I've referred one of our members who had her grandmother's quilt that's never been documented, and she was getting in touch with them to document her quilt. So all of our members are aware of it, and some of our members have had antique quilts documented with their group. They did it. I think they were running it this year. Especially
in the summertime.
In the summertime, yes.
Yeah, and a lot of our members are also guild members.
Right.
The Kemptville Quilters Guild members.
Wonderful. This has been most helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time and giving us more insight in how the quilts get made, and they are gorgeous. So we appreciate the generosity of the community, especially for those who are affected by cancer, and it's so pervasive these days. We all know someone who I'm sure would deserve and appreciate one of those quilts.
Yes, and the growth in the number of men who are getting requests for men, that has grown in the last few years quite a bit.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you both, Colette and Francis. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, colleagues, I think we're down to just our last two. So really want to commend council and of course our presenters for being really focused and trying to walk us through a lot of information really quickly. So we'll go to the Volunteer Center of St. Lawrence Rideau. I think Frank is with us. Is that right? Maybe not. I'm not sure I see Frank.
I don't see Frank on the call.
Okay. So then we're going to move on. We've got Big Bang at North Grenville District High School. Do we have Heather? There you are, Heather. You're just muted. Once we unmute you, Heather, we can hear you. So you'll have to start over because we couldn't hear you at all.
Okay,
all right.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for including me in tonight's presentation, and my apologies for not being able to get there on Tuesday. First of all, I just thoroughly enjoyed all the other presentations, so thank you to all of them. They've been wonderful. And I do appreciate the opportunity to represent Big Bang here as well. Okay. So Big Bang, for those of you who aren't familiar, they're a performance-based group of students who are enrolled at North Grenville District High School, and they're in an after-school credit program. Currently, we have just over 50 students that are taking the course, and it surpasses the number of drums that are available to our drummers to use. So we have about 13 drums that very sadly, when I discovered that the skins have split on the top, so they can't be used. And so what I'm looking for is funding to repair those drums. I have sourced, I've got a couple of different sources, and the best price that I found is about $120 repair those 13 drums. We also are short the number of drums even when I get those repaired. So currently we are borrowing about 20 drums from another school, but that's a temporary loan. So I'm looking to purchase about 10 new drums, and the cost for those drums is about $2,400. This would be a one-time request for us. This group is an amazing group, but I'm a little biased. They are a great group of students. It has just exploded this year. 2 years ago we had 22. Last year we had just over 30, and this year with 56 that we had registered at the beginning of the class. It's a lot, but they are so excited to be there. They work together as a group. I see students from the beginning of the year very quiet and reserved, and by the end of the year they're up on stage, they're having fun, they're moving, they're working as a group. And one of the big things that we talk about over the course of the school year is one band, one sound. We are one, we work together. As far as fundraising goes, the fundraising that I do, and I've been doing this a number of times, but currently I'm running adult drumming classes. And this is used as a fundraiser for our drummers so that we can reduce the cost of their individual costs as we travel. And 100% of those proceeds goes directly to the drummers. We do have some funding from the school, but it is very limited. It's not a big school budget. This group is very actively involved in the community, as much as we can be. In the past, they've done a number of things, and I've been drumming for almost 20 years now. And over the course of those 20 years, it obviously not been with Big Bang, but it's been at South Branch, which we were called So Bad at that time. But they've been involved in Santa Claus parades and fundraising events from requests that have come in around the community. Last year, we played for Beth Donovan Hospice, and good for the kids to be involved in things like that as well. Being able to play for the amalgamation of the 25 years was a wonderful opportunity for our kids, and thank you very much for that opportunity. Oh goodness me. They've also represent our community and our school when they go to nationals. So they have to qualify to nationals. It's an invitation only. And last year they went to Niagara Falls and represented the community well. And this year they've also qualified to go to nationals, which is in Toronto. When we try to get out to local schools as well. And last year we went to South Branch Elementary, and our kids run the workshop. So we do a presentation for the school. So we do our performance. And then at the end of the program, we work with the students. So last year we did 5 kindergarten classes, and our students ran the workshops. So it's a good opportunity for them to do some leading. In the past, we've also gone to Kemptville Public School, and we ran workshops for their grade 6 classes. In the past, I've also been to America Public School, Oxford on Rideau. I think those are our only local schools that I've been at. At this point, I don't think I've got anything else to say, so I am certainly open to questions. But again, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity.
Well, thank you for 20 years of service. Teaching kids how to play drums. That's tremendous. And I understand you're a retired teacher who continues to do this work, correct?
That's right. Yes.
Right. Okay. So Councillor Wilson, over to you first.
I'm jumping on. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Debbie.
Thank you for your presentation. Heather's family background in music is existential over the many years. And I just have to say how great this program is. The question I have,
yes.
You do this as a credited program for the high school students?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so there's no funding for the drums themselves to be repaired
I have
from the school board.
I have $500 that I have got in my budget right now.
Okay. Okay. So that was a loaded question. I just wanted to know, and the public to know that the school board is not funding this, and that perhaps this is, I'm glad you're here to ask for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Heather, just in the absence of other questions, quickly, how did you finance all that travel to the nationals and to the provincials? How did the families paid, I assume, for the kids to participate?
They did have to pay an amount, yes. I try to keep that amount to a minimal so that everyone can afford to go, and we make sure that everyone can go. So the fundraising, I do a lot with the adult fundraising, so the adult drumming classes. They also have done popcorn sales. We do a music night, donations at the door, bake sales at the school. So we try to come up with some ideas over the course of the school year on what they want to be able to do for fundraising.
And that's to sort of lower barriers for any family who might have a tough time getting their kid to one of those national or regional events, I assume.
Absolutely. They're very expensive festivals to enter. So just the festival cost, the entry fee it's close to $100 per student. And then our travel. Yeah. And then our travel costs. Yeah. It's a great festival.
And accommodations. So you mean getting there and staying there, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, colleagues, in regards to this one? Deputy Mayor.
Yes, thanks, Heather. It's a great program. Thoroughly enjoyed the performance at the 25th anniversary.
Thank you.
People should know that you were called back for an encore. I don't know if you were expecting that, but that was the reaction of the crowd at the time. If somebody wanted to book the group for, say, a 45-minute performance, do you have a rate? What would you charge them?
We don't have a rate. Donations are, so we've played so the reopening of the United Church, we played there as well. And usually it's like an honorarium or a donation. So we don't have a set fee, no.
Something to consider, maybe.
Thank you.
And the kids practice within the school day, or is it considered extracurricular?
It's not extracurricular. It is a credit course, but it is run outside of the school hours. So
okay.
Yeah, so we start at 2:15 and we're finished. That's after 5 o'clock by the time we finish.
And Heather, are you donating 100% of your time
for the adult drumming classes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yes. Okay. So you're clearly putting a lot into it as well, just to make it all happen.
That's all about the kids.
Clearly. Okay. Well, we appreciate this. I think your ask is really focused and really clear, and the impact and return on investment is very evident. So we were, again, as others said, honored to have you at our 25th anniversary, to have that opportunity to feature youth in the community and their talents, and your leadership in this area was really moving for us as a council. So please continue to thank the kids, and we'll shamelessly promote you wherever we can to give you a few of those other opportunities. But it was a really fitting tribute, I think, to North Grenville to have your kids there. And with 55 students now enrolled, I'm sure it's just going to get bigger every year. So we appreciate you reaching out and identifying the need here. So hopefully we can make something happen.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Good night.
So if I'm not mistaken, I'm just turning to Tammy and Megan. I think we may be at the end. Is that right? Tammy, Megan, we're not seeing anyone else in the queue?
Correct. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Well, council colleagues, thank you very much. I know we powered through there and there was a lot of information, and I certainly hope we did everyone justice. There was just a great array of ideas and commitment and accomplishments and dreams for the future. So that's wonderful to see in our community grants deliberations. So I don't believe we have any members of the public remaining who wish to ask questions. Is that right, Megan?
I don't see any hands raised. I think that's
Okay. And no members of the media from what I can tell, correct?
correct.
All right. So colleagues, we'll go straight to our confirmation bylaw. And that is bylaw 11323 to confirm proceedings of council at its special meeting held on November 16th, 2023 be adopted and passed. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Councillor Sullivan. Deputy Mayor Barkley, thank you. And I'll call the question. All in favor? And then quickly, before we go to our adjournment, would also like to extend a special thanks to Tammy and all directors who were able to join us this evening, in addition to our CEO, who listened intently and I'm sure gained some insight as well into facets of the community that they may be less familiar with. So thank you to all of our staff who joined us. And I'll ask Councillor Wilson and Councillor Strachan to move and second adjournment at 8:55 p.m. I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. All right. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.